maybe west isn't as best as I first thought.
Wowzers, that is spectacular.
We are exploring one of the most underrated four-wheel drive destinations in Australia.
And we've got it all to ourselves. Check it out.
Holy balls. One of the best tracks I've driven.
Holy heck, kids! This is what we come all the way to South Australia for. This is the most spectacular campsite I've seen anywhere in Australia. This place has blown me away. This is Off-Grid. The last time you saw us, we were taking on the crossing of the mighty Nullarbor, bringing us all the way to South Australia and onto the edge of another incredible four-wheel drive destination, the Eyre Peninsula. Located between the Nullarbor and Adelaide, the EP is a hidden gem that's often overlooked by both four-wheel drivers and travellers. And to be honest, I've been one of them. So for this leg of the trip, I'm opting to let some locals show me around.
Rightio, folks. South Australia, the Eyre Peninsula. I've dabbled down here long time ago. Streaky Bay, I remember Coffin Bay, I remember the oysters. Haven't done much else in the years after. So, I've handed the reins over. I've thrown the keys to adventure to Steph because this is where her family comes from, the Eyre Peninsula, South Australia. We're going deep into your back door right here. This is your homeland.
It absolutely is, and I'm very excited to be here. You keep saying west is best, and I can't really think of a word that really rhymes with south, but the magnificent Eyre Peninsula needs no rhyming words because it is utterly stunning.
We haven't even really touched the surface of this yet. I've freaking fallen in love with it.
This is just the beginning, my friend. We're travelling down the west coast and then we'll head back up the east, and I've got an Eyre Peninsula extravaganza in store for you.
Just take me to adventure. I'm frothing.
As Steph said, we're going to be following the coast right around the peninsula. With stunning coastal camps, we've got remote beaches and some offshore fishing all lined up, finishing at a classic watering hole at Arno Bay. The western coast of the EP is wild and woolly, carved out by the big swells of the Great Australian Bight, and the cliffs south of Streaky Bay are a popular destination for visitors. Woolshed Cave, right on the coast. But as we push further south down the peninsula, the crowds are quickly left behind, and it feels like we've got the whole place to ourselves.
Well, I'm going to be a bit careful with what I say here, but this coastline, it's blowing me away. I mean, I come from WA, I'm a bit, you might have noticed, proud of my state, but this Eyre Peninsula region, have a go at this cliff line we're on right now. This is the Elliston region, or the west coast of the Eyre Peninsula. Have a go at this drive. This is like nothing else in Australia. Look at that, there's islands all the way out there. We got a pretty special camp tonight. Steph's very tight-lipped about it. She doesn't want to tell me anything about this camp. Have a go at this. Oh man, South Oz.
The peninsula is peppered with more hidden bays and beaches than you can throw a stick at, and to get to a lot of them requires locking in the hubs. So for our next stop, we're dropping the vans off to go for a bit of an explore.
Caution, soft sand ahead, four-wheel drive only. Where does this little track take us?
Well, my friend, we are heading into the Coffin Bay National Park, the oyster capital of the world.
Oh, sweet, salty, little snotty good things.
Well, lucky for you, my friend, we know people in high places and might be able to just pick up a couple of dozen.
As part of our trip around the EP, Steph and Harley have promised me the chance to sample some local seafood. But for that, first we're going to need some supplies, which brings us here to Gunya Beach.
Have a go at that. Storm-swept Southern Ocean.
Yes, this is stunning. We could go find some bait for our fishing trip, Graham.
Yeah, we'll dig up a Gunya Pippi. Soft old beach.
Gunya Beach is about as pristine as they come. And somehow, again, we've got the entire place to ourselves.
Righto, so we are out here currently looking for the Gulwa cockles. Now I can hear you all saying, what is that? Yes, we are in South Australia, so it's wrong. We're looking for pippies, which I've just started. We've found one, not a good start. So we'll get a few bigger.
Not about size, Duff.
Yeah.
Prime King George whiting bait, fresh South Australian pippies. Just got to stop myself from eating these and we'll be right. Look at the size of that big thing. Holy heck, that can go in the pocket. With some bait on board, it's time to head back to the vans. And while the more sensible half of the crew have turned around the easy way, I've had a bit of a V8 moment and possibly cooped it.
Oh, that had probably sent you. I got stuck.
Now, occasionally you have to ask, if you've got all of those ponies,
All that horsepower.
what is the point of it, really, if you're going to get stuck in the sand? Ah, little boggy boy. Beginner.
Actually working.
Yeah.
Classic example of being lazy. I'm a lazy dog. I told everyone I was going down to 18 PSI and I went down to 25. Now, what's not happened here is I'm not bogged. This is an educational tool for the young players so they can learn what to do in an emergency situation. First and foremost, don't panic. And secondly, just act cool. Pretend like you're not bogged. Nobody's bogged here.
Hey, there we go.
That's a bit better.
It was the shovel.
Yeah.
All in the muscle work.
Well, I think that's an important lesson in it's not the size of your shovel, it's how you use it. I'm going to get back in my car and drive away.
I'm going to put that one down to user error, but the big rig is back on song, and so soon we're on the move.
Well, I think that's a bait mission successful. We have a bag full of South Australian juicy boy pippies. What's to go with camp tonight?
Yeah, we've got a little treat in store for you. We're going to head back up the coast and I want to take you to a place that's special to my heart.
Oh, intriguing. All right. If we can convert the pippies into King George whiting.
Well, look, I've been fishing with you before, so there's no guarantees that's going to happen.
No, that's correct. I'll have to do all the work as per usual, but that's all right. You just come along and enjoy yourself.
I always do, my friend.
For our next EP appointment, I'm following the guys to a secret squirrel campsite north of Coffin Bay. And this one promises to be something very special.
Graham, prepare to have your socks knocked off.
Holy balls.
There it is.
What the actual? Wowzers. South Australia.
West is so best anymore, my friend.
I'm getting a little bit nervous, I'll say it. Just ever so slightly nervous. Look at that, you reverse your van up into there. The whole place to yourself.
Not bad.
Check this out.
Your location is A.
Lovely.
Your timing, however, is weird. This is too early to be in camp. I can't crack a brewski right now.
All right, well, how about we unhitch the vans?
Yes.
And go for a little explore around the cliffs. Did you bring your fishing rod?
I got everything. What are we standing here for? Let's go. Come on.
Go wet a line.
With base camp established, we're soon pushing down to another local hotspot, Point Drummond. Now, the beauty of this stretch of coast is that just about everywhere offers the chance to wet a line, and we are not one to say no to that. This groovy access ramp right here was actually carved into the cliffs by local fishermen in order to access the abalone and crayfish-rich waters off the rocks.
A wise man once said that there is no such thing as bad weather, just weak fishermen. And he might have been wise or he might have been senile, I'm yet to find out, but we're going to give it a go either way.
The The Eyre Peninsula holds such a special place in my heart. All of my family live over here, and in particular this beach is my Uncle David's most favourite beach on the whole of the EP, and he's a keen fisherman, so I'm so stoked to be able to share it with Harley and Graham and you guys watching at home. And Uncle David actually owns a couple of pubs around the EP, so we might just catch up with him later on.
Well, we're not exactly brimming with fish, pardon the pun. Bit of a rough day for it. And to be fair, this is my first time ever fishing in South Australian waters. So to say that I'm a bit rough and ready is an understatement. What I reckon we need though is a little bit of local knowledge. But have a look at the view.
Righto, beer o'clock. Now, once again, the fishing gods haven't given us much luck there. I'm going to choose to go with that excuse rather than the lack of talent. But, Stephanie, you have a little secret treat up your sleeve.
I'm going to say, don't worry, I got you sorted. I got quite a few uncles and aunties on the Eyre Peninsula, and one of them owns a boat.
Quite a large boat.
And he's got a lot of local intel on where the fishes are.
Yeah, so he's put his hand up and offered to put us on a few whiting. So with any luck, tomorrow, we might be on for a feed.
Now look, we've shown you a lot of pretty amazing camp spots over the years, but this one right here is special. And to be able to set up camp just meters from the water, I mean, come on, how good is that?
About a week ago, I made a massive claim. I said that we'd found the most spectacular campsite in all of Australia. I'm going on record now to say I was categorically wrong. Been wrong so many times in my life. This one here was a clacker though. Completely wrong. This is the most spectacular campsite I've seen anywhere in Australia. Sunset, cliffs, ocean, a couple of star-crossed lovers down there just doing their thing. Thank goodness their caravan's a long way from mine tonight. But folks, maybe west isn't as best as I first thought. That's all I'm going to say on that. Enjoy the sunset. Look, call me old-fashioned, most people have, but when it comes to outback comms, I've always relied on sat phones and HF communications. I've been trialling this Zoleo unit, and I am 100% sold. The basics are, you connect your phone to the Zoleo connects to the Iridium satellites in the sky, and you can send and, most importantly, receive back text messages from anyone, anywhere in the world. Now, check this out. This button up here, you push that, it sends out a pre-recorded message saying, I'm all good, everything's okay, and this is where I am. If everything goes pear-shaped, you push that button down there and it acts exactly like an EPIRB, the cavalry will come and get you. What I love also is that it is so much cheaper than owning a sat phone. You can have a whole different array of plans, whether they be cheap or expensive. If you're not using it very often, you can cancel it and put it on hold. Look folks, at the end of the day, in terms of comms in the bush, I've got to say it, technology has caught up with Graz. I now am a big convert, and this thing here is staying in the Y62. Now, I better finish this up and go and cook dinner. Holy heck, that's a message! They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's bloody true. I'm making spag bog. It's about the 18th time I've made it on this trip, and I like it. It's super simple. 2 tips for spag bog, trust me. Smoked paprika, and it doesn't matter what you cook, put Vegemite in it. Vegemite is the salt, it's the umami look it up. Now look folks, about 18 months ago, decided that I was going to branch out a little bit, do a bit more touring, and I wanted to tow something behind me to enable me to be very comfortable when I did it. Caravans. You say that word amongst your mates and they start saying, what are you, 75? What are you, going to start having scones at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? What's going on? Trust me when I say, caravans are the bomb. We're clicking over, I think, roughly speaking, about 25,000 Ks that we've done in the last 9 months or so. We've seen more of Australia than most people. And when we get where we're going to go, if it requires that we're going to go and do some wheeling, or we want to go down to a soft bit of beach, maybe we want to go hunting for the day, fishing for the day, whatever it is, you park your van up somewhere sensational like this right here, unhitch it, because remember, it takes you 30 seconds to unhitch your van, grab your 4B that's all decked out, and you take off for the day. Trust me, folks, the freedom this thing is giving me has utterly blown my mind. It has changed my perception of caravanning 100%. Okay, I've got the big 62 set up perfectly, rooftop tent on the top, I can cook out of it, I've got a fridge in there, big battery system inverter. Why? Because if I want to go away, do a bit of hunting for a few days, go and fish that isolated beach for a few days, I take that. When I come back and I'm covered in fish juice, hopefully, I'm dirty, I'm knackered, I'm tired, hot shower, double bed, caravan life has got me well and truly hooked, as has spag bog. Okay, we have spag bog about 5 times a month, but still, tell you what, this never gets old, and that is not getting old either.
Our first day on the EP has been close to perfect, but for us, this trip is just getting started. It's an early start for us this morning as we get ready to move camp to the east coast of the peninsula and catch up with one of Steph's relatives.
Well, what a place to wake up, eh? I reckon I could spend a week or two here just chilling out, doing a bit of fishing, going for a swim. Anyway, that's not what's happening today. I'm excited about today. We've got a local hookup. Steph has got a family member and their boat ready to take us out and hopefully, fingers crossed, get a feed of mighty South Australian King George whiting. So it's an early start this morning. Finished my coffee, we're gonna get packed up. We're gonna head across to meet up with the family members and out to sea we go. Hopefully tight lines. Finished my coffee, let's get into this.
This has been such a special spot to camp, and I gotta be honest, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag and show you exactly where it is and how easy it would be to find it. But I reckon the keen among you will be able to work it out and enjoy it for yourselves. For us though, it's time to make a mile. From our spot on the west coast, it's about an hour's drive to Tumby Bay. And about 20 k's offshore is the Sir Joseph Banks group of islands. Our guide for the day is Steph's uncle Pete, who's not only given us his boat to use, but also an incredible knowledge of where to find the fish that we're after.
Well, this is a bit of a dream of mine. We're heading out here to try and catch the mighty South Australian King George whiting. Conditions are wild today, boys. It's actually picture perfect. It's going to be a lovely day out there, but we're going out to a set of islands just off the coast. If I had to tell you where they are, Pete here would have to kill you. It's going to be a good day. And if we're lucky, Pete tells us we might even get to see some seals. What's a walrus and a wetsuit got in common? Both like a tight seal.
Over the years, Pete's built up a mental map of exact spots, you could call them honey holes, where you can get almost guaranteed a catch of King George whiting. And it's no joke that these are trade secrets. And almost immediately, we're getting results.
Peter's just put us right on top of something there. Second spot, first drop.
Is that a King George whiting?
That is
Woo!
an Eyre Peninsula. Wait.
Oh, slippery gypsy.
I'm in the boat first. Graham, keep up, young fella.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you put me on the wrong side of the boat. Well, pretty exciting, because I've only ever caught one King George whiting in my life, so if I get half of one... Oh, I've just doubled me tally. Oh, don't you worry about that, Pete. Old salty seaman like me. Oh, he's dropped it. Oh, come on.
There we go.
He's done well. Hits me in the nuts with the sinker on the way through.
How about that, buddy?
And soon, I'm on the board as well.
Oi!
Oh, come here, you.
You have two.
I've doubled me totals.
Are you kidding?
2 in my life.
Oh.
Oh, that's the indignity of it. The man's taking me fish off the hook.
The catch limit for King George whiting is 30 per boat in South Australia. And at this rate, that's looking pretty achievable.
Creepers. That's a good one.
We're back. That's even keel, old man.
Within 10 minutes, we've got a dozen good-sized KGs on board.
One of the best eating fish. Jeepers creepers, they're flying in the boat. Left, right and centre. One of the best eating fish in the sea, if you ask me.
Pull him up. Yeah, Steph.
She's on. She's on. She's done it. I like your technique. Yes.
I did it!
Not yet, yeah.
All right, well, the boys might be on to their 20th for the day, and this is my first, but you know what? I've definitely got the biggest, and it is all about size, boys.
There was no contact.
You bloody...
Spiky.
The day has barely even started, and already we've got a good haul. But Pete reckons we're not done till we hit the boat limit and catch something worthy of a record book. Although, you've got to keep your eyes on the competition. Soon, I've hooked something that feels pretty decent.
Wowzers! Look at that! That's a PB! Tumby Bay PB, it's going on the wall of the pub! Can't tell, I'm gonna get kicked in the nuts in a minute. Hang on. Holy moly. 47 and a bit. Holy!
Suddenly, Harley's got some catching up to do.
Oh, hang on.
He's got a good one.
Get him up, get him up.
With the bag limit approaching, Harley might just have the answer.
Holy heck!
Look
Look at that thing!
That is a massive fish.
That is a big whiting.
Oh, I'm on.
This side of the boat is going off. Oh, yes.
Hey!
That is a bloody good fish. 49, so I've taken the cake. We've got a new leader in town.
Well, I tell you what, South Australia, Tumby Bay, turning it on. King George whiting. I've only ever caught a couple in my life before. Come out here. Got the... They're all over the shop. KGs left, right and centre. We have got a feast on our hands tonight, I believe. Stephen Hales, this is all you.
Yep, we'll take it from here, my friend.
You know what goes real well with these? Beer. That's what I'm going to be doing. Look at that. This has been a most amazing day, Pete. Thank you so much, mate.
Oh, it's food as that.
Oh, absolutely loving it. Harley, last minute. Wow!
Hey.
Fish going everywhere.
30.
After a huge morning around the islands, we are inbound for the coast with plenty of time left in the day to explore around the east coast of the peninsula. And Uncle Pete, well, he's given us a tip for another spot that he reckons we just have to check out. And for that, we need to head a little inland. Right in the heart of the peninsula is a little known ridge run that I've been told you have to see to believe. The track follows the ridgetops right along the range, and in places, it offers a few challenges.
This is the most elevation we've seen in weeks. I'm going to get a nosebleed.
Yes, correct. We're getting a little bit high, but this one here is called Dark's Peak. And we're just heading up just to get a bit of a view over the beautiful Eyre Peninsula. Now, it is a bit of a tighter track, so you might just want to think skinny and
Suck in.
just hope that that nice Duco of yours doesn't get too scratched.
You're referring to me on the forward drive?
A little of column A, a little bit of column B.
Steep. Oh.
the old girl a bit of a nudge, shall we? What's real shaly? This thing's an animal. Look at the view. Sensational.
The view might be good, but it really pays to keep an eye on the track because some of these corners feel more than just a little sketchy.
Oh my gosh, this is so stupid.
In some places, a vertical cliff edge is no more than half a metre from my tyres. Yep, stop looking at the view and concentrate. After a couple of puckering moments, the top of the range is just ahead.
One of the best tracks I've driven. Wowzers.
Oh, this is sick.
What a spot. Little places like this just literally popping up out of nowhere is what getting out into places you've never been to before, as far as I'm concerned, is all about. I didn't know this existed, and yet this track that follows this ridgeline from a mountain that just pops up out of the absolute flatness would rival anything I've done in, let's say, the Flinders Ranges, for example. And there's no one up here. We're the only ones on it. Absolutely sensational. Apparently, how cool is this? It finishes at the pub down in town. That's pretty sick if you ask me.
From the ocean to the highest point of the Eyre Peninsula. That's not a bad effort for one day. But I reckon it's time to go find a camp.
Stoked we made this little detour. Absolutely stoked.
Well, the stoke continues, my friend, because we're going to pop on down to the coast to get different scenery of the lovely EP for you. We're going to change it up a little bit.
Bring it on, I say. Bring it on. Well, guys, I tell you what, I've had an absolute cracker. It's been another fantastic day on the EP. See what I did there? I'm like a local now. Speaking of local, you know the spots. Where are we camping tonight? Because according to my watch, I'm about 8 minutes off beer o'clock.
Well, like a true local, I'm going to take you to a little hidden gem. It's actually on one of my family's paddocks up at the hills. Stunning views of Tumby Bay and the surrounds and the glorious water that we've been on. It's absolute magic.
That's ticking all my boxes. If we get to the top, crack a cold beer, that'll tick one more.
Well, listen, mate, you just kick back with your beer because we have a seafood extravaganza planned for you tonight.
I'm frothing. Let's do this. Let's get up the top. It's going to be one heck of a view from up here.
I think if you look hard enough in those clear views, you can actually just make out where I caught the biggest fish of the day.
They're a good mirror, but they're not that bloody good. Look at that. Holy balls. That is spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty glorious.
Camping in a paddock might not sound all that glamorous, but, well, there's got to be an exception. And pretty quickly, we are set up for the night.
Right out there, you can see where we were fishing this morning. This campsite, totally unexpected. We're talking to Pete. Pete said, oh yeah, if you want to, you can camp in my top paddock. I didn't expect that this would be the top. Look at that. This whole thing is ours as far as the eye can see. The guys are preparing one of the most spectacular meals we've probably had on Off-Grid thus far. 2/3 of this meal are home caught. The other third was caught just down there. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to grab myself a beer, bit of country and western, because I'm off tonight. It's my night off. Loving it.
First course is actually some local Coffin Bay oysters. Now, these have only just come out of the water. We've picked them up down there in Coffin Bay, and first thing is shucking. So a bit of work to do before we start eating.
Usually when we do our oysters Kilpatrick, we get the oysters, the wishty, the bacon, the Tabasco, chuck it under the grill, but we don't have a grill. You could do it on the camp oven, but fire bans. So we're gonna fry off the bacon and all the sauces and delicately place it on the oysters and then serve them up like that.
Entree ready.
You have
Oh, look.
options.
Look at that. That's like a gourmet feast.
It is.
You're welcome.
And
Looks proper.
since you caught the most fish, I'll let you have that one. Most fish.
Sure.
Not the biggest though.
You can lead the way. Pick in.
Look, I can't go past just
Yep. There's a bit of
naughty boy straight
Tabasco
up.
there. There's a bit of fresh chili if you want to go real naughty.
Tastes like South Australia.
Love
Superb. That is, honestly, man,
Go us.
superb. They just taste like the sea.
Great.
Second course on our seafood extravaganza. You guys might remember that a little while ago I got myself a stonker of a squid. So tonight we're ripping out salt and pepper squid.
For the main course tonight, we've got fish tacos with our locally SA caught King George whiting. So Harles is on the fry pan cooking those bad boys up, and I'm just prepping a little bit of ingredients to make the best tacos this crew's ever had.
So course 2, done, dusted. This is the squid we caught the other day. I've gone for 2 methods here, and I'm a little bit dubious on which one's going to be the best, so I
you
need
have
an
to.
opinion.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
just the old little single dusting of flour,
Yep.
and then I've doubled the second. So
Okay.
thicker layer, you tell me.
I'm gonna go no layer first.
Yep.
A little bit of
Little
cubing.
side of wasabi mayo.
Oh man, winner. Not chicken, dinner.
The fresh squid. Come up a treat.
I'll go crumb next.
Double crumb that one.
Double
So,
crumb.
Yeah, you know, crumb, dip in the egg.
Oh my giddy aunt. Double crumb for the win.
Well, look, there you go.
Oh man.
Course number 3, fish tacos, baby.
Unfortunately, we caught too much fish, so we've got to try and get rid of it. So we're going 3 ways, chop them up into little pieces and just snack size.
This bad boy here was the biggest catch of the day. Caught by me.
Now, this may look very simple, but I am actually a qualified fisher and chipper. I spent 7 months as the head chef at Mega Fish and Chip Shop as a 17-year-old, so I know what I'm doing.
Righto, Osh. These fish nuggies, they're ready.
All right, Graham, come on in, mate. Look, we have...
This is a fish feast.
It is a fish feast. We've cooked up a few different ways here, so
Fish nug, get it in ya.
nuggies are done.
It might be hot. Fresh from the pan.
Fresh King George whiting. Oh my God.
King George whiting, Eyre Peninsula, 3 ways. What do you reckon, team?
My God, in heaven. What a trip this has been. The EP, as one of a local now,
Oh, jeez.
the EP is just blowing my mind. I thought the West was best when it came to coastlines. Still is. However, the EP is stunning, utterly stunning. Camped on the family property, overlooking the archipelago where we caught these whiting, and there's no one around. This place is pretty much untouched. The fishery out here, beautiful. The landscape, fantastic. The people, questionable. However,
Fair.
I have fallen in love with South Australia, folks. And if there's anything to go by, you guys have nailed it. I'm going in. I'm stopping talking.
It's been a bit of a lightning tour around the EP, but it's clear already that there's so much more here to discover. We've got one last day to check out the area before we start heading north, but I reckon we've barely even scratched the surface of what's on offer in this unique little corner of the country.
That sound first thing in the morning. Some people like the sound of birds or waves crashing. No, give me stonking big V8 four-wheel drive. I love it. Hey, Steph, what's on our plates today?
Well, the beauty of the EP is that it really is the gift that keeps on giving. So we're going to slowly cruise up the east side of the peninsula and I'm going to show off a few more little hidden gems for you.
The EP has been fantastic so far. I won't judge it on the fact that it's going to be the east coast. Let's go and see what we've got. Where are we headed tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to end up in Arno Bay, specifically at the Arno pub, Hotel Arno. Tell me, how do you feel about squid and snitties?
Never in my life have I had a squid snitty. Bring it, Arno Bay, you say? Bring it on. I've forgiven you for taking me up the east coast. I'm looking forward to today. Let's do it.
It's becoming clear that the Eyre Peninsula is a South Aussie haven for camping and fishing, but a lot of the best spots require a little local intel to find. And frankly, that's just how we like it. Up the coast from Tumby Bay is an incredible stretch of sheltered coastal beaches, each with their own camping spots and ocean access.
This perler of a campsite / little cove here, it's not even on WikiCamp. So we've just gone off the beaten track, we've discovered it, and we've got it all to ourselves for a beautiful little roadside lunch. Check it out.
We've got time for one more local recommendation, and this one is another perler up near Arno Bay. It's a rugged coastal run, and for this leg, we've dropped the vans nearby. This cliff line is just north of Red Banks Beach, and despite the perfect weather, once again, we seem to be the only people here.
Oh my gosh, don't knock the cameraman over.
She loves it. She loves it. The little auto.
I'm starting to sound like a broken bloody record here, but what's with the EP and its views? I mean, everywhere we turn, you just turn off the blacktop and follow a track and you get something like this. I'm almost scared to let the world know.
We've got a few more things left on the Eyre Peninsula extravaganza tour. 1, get to the pub, have a beer. 2, let the seafood smorgasbord continue for dinner tonight.
It's almost becoming too much for me. I'm going to need heart pills. I'm following. Lead on. Folks, I have been absolutely 100% blown away by the Eyre Peninsula. I mean, I knew it existed. I'd heard of Coffin Bay, Streaky Bay. I knew about the oysters. It's on my map now forever. I want to come back. I could spend a month just jumping from small town to small town, coastal camp to coastal camp. Honestly, it has been a huge surprise and a massive breath of fresh air for me to find somewhere I've never been, didn't know anything about, and to be totally blown away by it. So what I want to ask you folks watching this at home, where is a similar little hidden gem, a corner of Australia most people don't know about, that you suggest I could go and check out? Because I'm 100% sure that there are so many places just like the EP around Australia that most people haven't heard of and have never been to. So please, folks, in the comments down below, where would you send off-grid next? Let me know, and I could be coming to your little town to say good day. And I hope your pub is a cracker.
For our last stop, we're pointing the rigs at a bit of an EP icon, the classic Arno Bay pub. It's got rooms for vans out the back, and most importantly, some well-earned cold refreshments on tap. The Arno is run by another of Steph's many uncles, and Dave has soon teed us up with the pub's signature dish.
All right, my friends, I know I talk a big game. I've talked it up a lot, I know, but you're about to experience the Hotel Arno Squid City, and it is
Squid
gonna rock your
City?
socks.
I'm going in.
Nice.
Never in my life have I experienced a squid snitty.
Yeah, I know, right? It's random, but it's so good.
Yeah. It's a proper snitty, except a squid. That's so good.
You're welcome.
There's nothing quite like a cannery after a few days of camping, and the Arno has been the perfect way to wrap up this trip.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, cheers, mate.
I have got to say, honestly, of all the travelling I've done, I've been taken to a few special places. People have said this has blown you away. It's nice. The EP. This has become my new spiritual home.
Oh, I love that. Well,
I freaking love this place.
the EP is such a special place in my heart, so I'm so glad that you enjoyed it so much.
Yep.
Look, it's been a pleasure showing you around, but it's going to be nice to hand the reins back over to you. Let you do the work again, yeah.
I tell you what, folks, we are only just starting because, to be fair, and I'm not lying, we don't know where we're going from here, but our end destination is going to be right up in Arnhem Land. So we're at the most, we couldn't get any more southern if we tried,
True.
in order to get to Arnhem Land, but we've got, 9 months to do it?
Yeah, all the time in the world.
And in between, we're going to find old pubs like this one, beers like this one, and enjoy the off-grid lifestyle. Cheers again, guys.
Cheers to
I've
that.
thoroughly enjoyed the EP. And here's a cheers to the Eyre Peninsula. An
Yeah,
absolute
cheers
cracker.
to the EP.
See you next time.
Next time on Off Grid, our journey north is thrown into chaos as rain turns roads into rivers.
There's about 10 different tracks spearing off, and not one of those tracks looked like a track you'd want to drive.
It's Central Australia at its best as we take on the Oodnadatta track.
Must have changed our plans at least 10 times already.
We might not even make it. Coming soon, only on 4-Wheel Drive 24/7.